morning. How are you going today?
Good, thanks, Ashley. How are you?
Well, thank you. And what are you up to this morning?
Well, as all big rock stars like myself do, I took the dog for a walk and did the washing.
So, an easy kind of morning then.
Yes, that's right.
Oh. Now, you said you're a rock star, so I was going to ask you about your genre actually, because there's some other influences coming through in your music too, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. I'm obviously joking when I say I'm a rock star, but yes, I like all sorts of music. So there's a country influence in there. There's rock and there's blues and all sorts of things. But I have different types of songs as well. I love playing all sorts of different music. So
Sure.
yeah, why confine yourself to just one genre?
Do you have any favourite artists or influences?
Well, I love the Beatles, of course.
Yeah.
Who doesn't? I think they basically created all genres of music after they started. But I like the Moody Blues, Cat Stevens, J.J. Cale, all these kind of things. They were music that my parents played when I was a kid, so I was pretty lucky that they had good taste and played some great stuff, which I was singing along to as soon as I could sing. It was a very good musical upbringing.
Sure. It's interesting when you say that, because I know when I would go on long car trips with my mum as a child, and she'd be playing 70s music because she was a teenager in the 70s, so there would be like the Cat Stevens, Bread, Lobo, all these bands that, had I not been in the car, I probably never would have heard of.
Well, you were lucky too. They're all good music.
So with your songwriting, you've been writing for quite some time, haven't you?
Yes, I'm not your teenage idol kind of person. I'm in my 50s, and I've been writing music since I was about 12 or 13.
Wow.
I wouldn't say that I'd play any of that music now. It was pretty horrible, but you got to start somewhere, and I liked doing it. Sounded good at the time, and hopefully it's improved since then.
Well, yeah, certainly. I mean, from the age of 12 or 13 into your 50s, you definitely evolve and grow as a person. So no doubt your music would have changed throughout that time as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, how did you first get started as a musician? Did your parents make you learn guitar or something along those lines?
No, they never made me do anything. They could see that I was very interested in music. I was lucky enough that my father had a very good friend who was a jazz drummer, and he lent me his kit for, a year or so.
Wow.
That was basically for my parents to see how committed I would be to it, and I absolutely love playing the drums. It's just so freeing and get rid of all your aggravations and everything. And from there, I decided that I'd like to play guitar and stuff, and they were very supportive. They would have paid for classes and stuff for me to go to, but I was like, oh no, I don't need that. Paul McCartney never had lessons. I don't need lessons. But he had a bit more raw talent than I do, so some lessons would have been nice. But my parents were really good in that. When I formed a band when we were like teenagers, they allowed us to rehearse at the house all the time, and we must have been awful. It must have been a dreadful racket. But they were always supportive and telling us how wonderful it was, and until we finally actually did start to sound good.
Wow. I suppose the other thing is when you're dealing with teenagers, at least if they're in the house practicing with their band, you know what they're up to.
Yes, that's right. Much better that way.
Now, you have released a couple of songs now. Your debut single is called Incredible to Me Now. Can you tell me about this one?
Yeah, so that one is a song about love lost and regret. Basically looking back and seeing what you had with a person and wishing that you had that again. I wanted to start with something which was meaningful. Later songs, I've also, with World of Thirds, I have that's like a protest song, a rock protest song, and the third one that came out is a comedy song. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Very diverse. Well,
yes.
I might give Incredible to Me Now a play, and Mick and I will be right back after this. Mick's reaction back on the line with me. You've just heard his debut single, Incredible to Me Now. Now, Mick, you've done a lot of songwriting over the years. How do you approach the songwriting process? Like, is it quite methodical or go with the flow? How does it work?
Well, for me, it can be different. Sometimes I'll go for a walk and you just find that the steady rhythm of a walk is a good 4/4 beat, which is a good rock and roll beat, and so it's something will just come to my mind which fits into the rhythm of my walk. Usually a song I'll start out with something that is in my own life or something I've thought about, and then it will evolve from there into something which isn't about me at all, or I'll just go with the rhymes and see where I end up. So Incredible to Me Now, that started off as being about me and then just kind of evolved away from being about me just into what I hope is a nice song.
Sure. And I guess what you're aiming for as a musician is normally connection with other people, isn't it?
I think people can tell if you're feeling the song, like if the emotion comes through and you're not bunging it on, then people can tell that it's real and can get a real connection. Everybody, well, I can't say everybody, pretty much everybody will have had an experience like Incredible to Me Now and can relate to it, if not exactly the same, then something similar. So, yeah, you're right.
Now, what do you think is one of the most common reasons for people failing or, for want of a better term, giving up on their musical aspirations?
Well, it's bloody hard, actually. As much fun as it is, especially over the last couple of years with COVID and that, there's not a lot of money in it. What happened in my situation was we had a band and we were playing up until our late 20s, and we hadn't been discovered by then. And most of the guys decided that they better start having families and they can't have babies and be touring around and playing and stuff. And so, and I went, well, okay, yeah, I guess we didn't do it. And so I stopped playing for 25 years.
Wow.
And then only just recently got back into it, which is when I released Incredible to Me Now. So yeah, I haven't got the money to record it, but I just had to. I had to find out what it sounded like professionally done.
Sure.
And I was just glad to do that. And I have been blown away at how well it's been accepted. It's like it's had over 150,000 plays on Spotify. It's been played on radio stations all around Australia and Germany, France. So in this day and age, you just sit at home and you don't have to go anywhere. It gets played. It's wonderful. I never expected to get 100 plays, let alone 150,000.
Well, that's the beauty of technology and the internet these days. You can reach such a broad audience. I guess the hard part is competing against. There's just so much stuff out there, so you need to be a bit
It's hard
unique.
to get heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, 25 years in between gigs. That's an awfully long time.
It is.
Did you just pick up the guitar again? Was it like riding a bike?
Well, I never stopped playing
Okay.
because I love playing, and I don't care if I'm just playing for myself and singing along to my guitar. I always continue doing that. I play all the instruments on all my music because I can't afford to pay a band, and I like playing all the instruments as well. So I'm not brilliant at some of the instruments, but my producer Simon Dobson at Lake House Audio is fantastic, and if I fluff something or make a mistake here, then he'll magic it into sounding all right for me. So yeah, it's been really a really good partnership with Simon. He's great.
Awesome. Do you have any sort of moments when you're songwriting when you just go, aha, and everything clicks?
I don't know that I've had like an aha moment when I'm writing. Sometimes when you get to a chorus and you don't know where it's come from, you'll just go, I need something here, and something pops into your head, and away you go. I normally find that if I haven't finished like the first draft of a song in an hour, then it doesn't get written at all because I can't go back to it and find where I was.
Okay.
So I have to like keep pushing at it. If I haven't hit it by an hour, then that's the end of that one.
Wow. Well, I guess that comes with the experience too. I mean, if I was to write a song, it'd probably take me a lot more than an hour.
Well, it's not that I kind of, if I know that it won't get done in an hour. If I haven't done it in an hour, I might go back to a song later. Like Incredible to Me Now has had a couple of revisions since, but the initial writing of it would have been in under an hour.
Yeah. Is that because as a creative person you need to sort of be in that flow zone, and once it's gone, it's gone?
Yeah. I have to feel like doing it.
Yeah.
Because if I don't, then it won't be any good.
Sure.
As simple as that.
And yeah, that's the other thing. You need to be passionate about what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because you want people to hear that coming through when it's recorded.
Yeah. And a couple of times I have gone, I'm going to write a song now. And so I go sit down and go, well, okay, where is it? Come on, universe, where's my song?
Okay.
And, yeah, I can't do it that way. Maybe some other people can, but for me, I need to have some idea of what I'm going to do before I start.
So the song comes to you.
Yeah,
Yep.
That's right.
Sure. And you have released another song. You briefly mentioned it earlier. It's called World of Thirds, and you said it was kind of like a political song.
Yeah, it's called World of Thirds because we've all heard the term third world countries before.
Sure.
And I figure that if there are third world countries, then the world must be made up of three parts. Mm-hmm. And so I have written a song about how governments and religious leaders of whatever stripe throughout the whole world could be doing more so that they're, in 2022, there shouldn't be people that are starving. There shouldn't be wars happening all around the world, not just in Ukraine, but it just shouldn't be happening. Most of these things are because there's some greedy leaders that want oil or they want land or whatever. And instead of doing that, we should all be working together to make sure that everyone has enough to eat.
Sure.
Sorry to get a bit heavy, but
no, that's okay.
But yeah, I really feel that the only reason these things aren't fixed is because the will isn't there for the people that should be doing the right thing.
Sure. I mean, there's definitely other motivations when certain people go into politics. Um, you're not the first activist I've had on my show. So have you, what have you got coming up next? You mentioned there was a new single coming out soon.
Yeah, on the 1st of May, my new song will be coming out called The First Kiss. Back to a romantic kind of vibe. This one's a fun song without being a comedy song. It's from the point of view of a man who looks across the room and sees a beautiful woman dancing and wants to dance with her, and the whole experience leading up to the first kiss.
Sounds intriguing.
Hopefully that will be well received as well.
So where can we find your music?
Well, I'm on all the streaming platforms. On Spotify is probably the easiest one to find me on. You have to spell it correctly, otherwise it's a bit hard. So it's MIK''S, Mix Reaction.
Awesome. So
without the apostrophe, it's hard to find me.
Okay, we'll keep that in mind. So check out Mix Reaction on all the streaming services, but specifically Spotify. Thank you so much, Mick, for coming on the show today.
Thank you, Ashley. It's been great.
And we'll leave you today with his new song, World of Thirds.